Hello and welcome back to our inventory system series. In this episode, we're going to continue on with the saving and look at how we save the level data, storing what items have been spawned in, what has been removed, and also storing the containers that exist in the world. So strap in, let's get started and go through this. Okay, so the way we save information in our level is we need to keep track of what's been removed and what's been added. So it's a whole new save system. So before we made a single save data object, this time you'll have a save data object, which is like the template for all your levels to use. But each level will have its own copy of the save data. So each level can be stored separately. So we're going to create a new blueprint class and search for save game. And add our save game object to the thing here. And this will be a level save data. I'll save, let's keep its name the same, save data level. And let's just focus on removing things that we picked up. So in the variables, we're going to have to keep track of what items we've removed. So we'll do actors removed, we'll call it. And this is quite simply going to be a actor reference, but it'd be a soft object reference. Okay, so it may not be loaded in. You will have to because at start the game while the level's loading, it may not be loaded in. It'll be used to asynchronously get this asset. Okay, so it's going to get it when it appears and like basically prepare it and say like, hey, I'm looking at you, we're going to do stuff. So we're going to do a soft object reference. Click on that and we'll make it oh no, we can leave it like that. Actually, we can leave it like that. And then we'll hit compile and save. So it's actors removed. Okay. Now, whenever I destroy an actor in my scene, I need to be able to tell it and add it to its actors removed array. Sorry, this should be an array. There we go. Array of actors that have been removed. Now, we now need to create the save data level per level. So you have a different slot for every single level. The best way of doing this is through the game mode, in fact, because the game mode is a tie to each level. So when you start a new level, the game mode will kick in and work with it. So what I generally do is if I go to the game mode, yeah, and open its blueprint editor and do begin play. In here, we're going to do something similar to what we've done in the game instance, where you're going to create a save game object. The difference is that the name is going to be dynamically generated based upon the level that we're in. So on begin play, we're going to do drag out and do does save game exist. The slot name has to refer to the level, and if you've got the ability to have multiple saves per character, so you have more characters than just one character in your game that you want to save, like different loads, you'd also want to save that too. So what we're going to do is on our slot name is just store the level name in this case. So it's a singular character sort of idea. So on the slot name, we're going to do get level name, current level name. There you go. And we're going to append this to underscore data. Okay. So let me just add that to our begin play. At the very start, gets the level name, appends the string to data, and then we're going to promote that to a variable. And that'll be level data slot. Let me add that in. Yeah. And then we just drag the pink pin over to our slot name, check that it does exist or not. And then the rest is similar to what we did on the game instance. So you just do a branch, load game from slot. But this time, rather than typing it in, you just drag in your variable for level save data. And then we cast to the level data and promote to variable. And then do save game slot. The slot name again is that pink string there. On false, we're going to create the save file, create save data, save game object, and choose our level save data, and then set that to our variable. And once again, we want to do save game to slot. Plug in there, save data. So at the start of the game, it's going to generate this save data. So if I was to push play, escape, and if I go to Explorer, go to the project root and go to saved games. And you'll see here first person map underscore data. That's this map's data file. So in there, I need to keep track of which ones I destroyed. So these actors, go to edit and go to the item parent class, and we're going to add it to our game instance. Okay, so let's go to our event graph. So go destroyed and destroyed, and in here we're going to add it to that game mode's save data. So get game mode passed to what's it called? Third person, no, first person game mode. First person game mode. Get our save data a level, and in here we're going to add it to that array. So actors moved, get, and do add unique. So don't get any duplicates. And the reference we want to add here is going to be self. Just right click set. Oh, no, that's not right. Self reference. And you want to drag that over to here and it'll convert it for you to a soft reference. File and save. Okay, so it's going to be added to that list there. And now we need it to save whenever we close the game. So let's go back to our game mode. Game mode. There it is. And we're going to do end play. Take the save data level and then do save game to slot. A slot name. Slot name. So that's saving what's been destroyed. We now need to load in, start the game, and destroy those things. So let's go back to our begin play and go along to when we do load game from slot. Because we don't need to do it when we create a new one because it's blank. But this one will have something in it, probably. So we're going to take from the save data level at the end here. And we want to get the actors removed. And we're going to do a for each loop. And then we want to destroy the actors coming from here. So we want to resolve this soft body reference first. So resolve soft reference. And then destroy actor. And that's it. File, save that. And let's take a look at that in action. So we've got 3 apples on the floor. I can pick 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. There it is in my inventory. Save in my inventory. I now close. Hit play. And you see they've been removed from the level. Okay. Now I want to make it so that when I drop these items in, it's going to store new stuff that's been added to the level. So let's talk about how that works. So we need to go and save that information. We need to go to our level save data, and we're going to add another variable, and this be actors added. This is very similar in that you'll have soft object references, but they'll be changed to classes instead. So we do actor, and we're going to do actor soft class reference, and leave it as not an array, so change it to a map. And you're going to change the value here to a transform. The transform is going to store where you're spawning it in. Okay, so actors added, soft class reference to an actor, and the transform is where it's going to go. File and save that, and close that. Okay, so when I add an item, we need to know what items we want to add to this whole thing. So I'm going to go to my parent item class here and do it on this. So when we begin play, we are going to get our, let's do that again, get our game mode. And we're going to cast to our first person game mode. And get the save data. To actors added. Oh, actors added. Get. And in here, we're going to do add. And what we're adding to this is our class of this actor here. So we do get class. And if you scroll down, you'll find it. Get class. Not that one. It's easy if you just do self actually first. Self class. There you go. And we want to put that into that there. The transform is where you've added it. So we're going to get the actor transform. Like that. Okay. It does that, and then we want it to save that we've added it to the scene. We're going to save it every time we add an item to the level. Now, it's a bit inefficient to do this like every time you add something to the level. So you may want to do it when you have a menu option to save the game, or leave the level, save the game. Like, don't do it every single time. Try to do it when you want to, based on your game's design. But anyway, from here, we're going to do save game to slot. And the slot name is going to be based upon the game mode's level slot. Level data slot. Okay. So that's going to save the game to the slot. Now, this will only work for these item parent classes. It won't work for like the loot bag because that's not an item class. It's a chest, and chests are just actors. So we need to do chests separately in a second because they're a bit more complex because they also have an inventory system which has their own container. But let's test it out first of all with just one item. Okay, so if I push play now and pick up an item, see the item in our inventory, we're going to get an error. And the error is referring to access none of the saved data level when we begin playing the test item. So this thing over here. Now, the reason why that's happening is that the game mode has yet to build the saved data level. It doesn't exist yet. So what we're going to do, very simply, just a little delay. 0.2 seconds will be fine, but happen whenever you like. Timer, delay, whatever you want. To indicate, like, hey, don't do it straight away. Wait for the game mode to finish loading and then destroy it. So now if I close that, I can go back to my game and there's 3 apples and there we go, no errors. Okay, so next thing we need to do is make it so that we can spawn them in at the start of the game. So let's go back to our game mode. Okay. And like we're doing here for looping actors removed and destroying them, uncompleted here, we're going to do the exact same but for actors added. To keys. And put the keys through the completed of that for each loop. So it does this one first, then it'll do this one. And the keys we can do now are for each loop on this one. And we're going to spawn in. So back that out to spawn. I'm sorry. Body spawn actor from class. We need to resolve this pin. It'll do it for you if you just plug it in. And the spawn transform will be from the map. We just do find. We find that class there. And add that to our spawn transform. And we typically want to always spawn ignore collisions. So no matter what, it'll always spawn it in. And I think that's it. Let's take a look at that in game. Okay, so there's my items. Right click, drop one. Okay, and there is thing, and escape. Go back in. There it is. Okay. So, up. One. Pick it up. And I'm going to put it over here. Drop one. Escape. Wait. Okay, so it's not here anymore. It should be up there. Okay. So that is how you manage individual items. But as I say, containers are very different because they have inventory components on them as well. So they have to store their contents as well as their location of the bag or chest, whatever you're doing. First of all, let's check out what this error was. Dynamic cast actor, destroy actor. Click on that. That's if we just want to check that that's valid, I guess. Is valid. And chuck that in there. There we go. So yeah, inventory is a little bit different. So on the save data for it, which I think I've closed, back to level save data. We got actors removed, actors added, but we want containers added. So I'm going to go in here and do containers added. Now we don't have to do containers removed because containers shouldn't get removed. They're dynamically added to a thing. We'll just remove them from this array when we finish using them. So on containers added here, we need to keep track of what containers and their contents. Now, something like that is a bit more complex because the contents is an array, and we can't do a map like we've done here because we can't have a array as a value. So what we need to do is create a struct for this. So we're going to create a new blueprint struct. Go f container struct, and this is going to contain the contents of our container. So contents, the f slot struct, that be an array, and it'll also have the location of it in here too. We add variable, transform, and transform and singular. Hit save. Right, we can close that now, and then we go back to our containers added. And in here, we want to change this to a actor class reference. Soft class reference. Soft class reference. Make it a map and set the value here to that f container struct. And in fact, rather than using actor, we could actually just go straight to our inventory systems and use a soft object reference for our inventory system. So each inventory system can be stored in here with its contents in this bit here too. Yeah, that would be fine. That'd be cool. Okay, so if we go back to our inventory systems component, we've got a couple of things to deal with. First of all, the save inventory and load inventory are going to happen at start like normal, but they're going to change based upon whether or not it's the player's inventory or like a container's inventory. So on save inventory here, we need to check first of all if the owner of this component is the player character. So get player character. Oh, sorry. Do equals first, but nope. Equal. Get player character. There we go. And put that into a branch. And if it's true, it will carry on like normal. If it's false, I'm going to get the game mode instead of the game instance. So get game mode. Pass to first person game mode. And then get the level data. Level, save data level. No. And in there, I want to store my container information to here. So go back to where was that? We're going to get container added. And in here, I want to do add to the map. The reference here is to an inventory soft object reference. So it's this inventory system. So if I do self, a reference to self, I can plug that into there and I'll add it to it. The struct then, we'll break that open. Oh, hello. Break it out and do make. And the contents is just the contents from here. We shouldn't need a transform for this in hindsight, but there you go. Right, so let's save it. And then we want to go to the load inventory. Let's go to load inventory. And very similar here. We want to get owner. And we want to see if it's equal to the player character. it's true, carry on like normal. And if it's false, we do something similar. We get the game mode. And we do pass to first person game mode. Now, get our save data, the level. We're going to get the containers. And from the containers here, we're going to find ourselves this inventory system. So self, plug that in there. That will resolve that. We're going to break open our struct and get our contents and just set it to the contents inside of our system. This. Save. Okay, so that's that. It's going to go through that process and add it all to the list and load them all in. Now, the loot bag's a little bit different because the loot bag is spawned in. It's not in the world already. It doesn't exist already. So it needs to be added to the actors added list and the container list. Now, the container list is already being handled by inventory system, so we shouldn't have to touch that. We just need to tell this thing to add itself to the level data's actors added list. So if I go back to my loot bag and we go to begin play, get game mode, cast to game mode. Oh, cast to first person game mode, but cast to first person game mode. I'll get into begin play. So at start the game, it will fetch the save data on the level. And in there, we're going to go to actors added. Actors added. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, actors added. And then add to the map. And we're adding ourselves. So self. And get our own class by doing get class. So it works exactly the same as the item, really. Just it's a little bit different, that's all. And then we're on actors transform in here. So that will store it in the saved game data. We then want to save it there. So we do save game to slot. As soon as we add it, it's going to auto save. But as I mentioned before, if you want to use something else like a save button in the UI or save point, checkpoint, whatever, to trigger save, that's when you would do the save game to slot. So we get not from the level data, it's from save slot. There you go, level data. Okay. Now, when it's removed and destroyed, we need to remove it from that array as well. So we're going to go to, let me just branch that off over here and do end play. And not end play, so we do destroyed. Event destroyed. And when it is destroyed, we are going to do the same thing, get game mode. Like that. And then we want to remove it from that array. So we're going to get the save data level. So from our save data level, then we then want to remove it from our actors removed, or add it to our actors removed. Add unique. And this is going to be self again. Bag. File. Save. So I think that's it. Let's take a look at that in action. If I go up to that chest first of all. Okay, and let's say I put some items in that chest. Okay, it's going to try and save the information. Right there. Back in. My character no longer has the items in inventory, but the chest does. Okay, so I can right there, come back in. The chest is saving the information. Excellent. So now let's do a loot bag. So if I go to my thing here, drag it out, drop it, put loot bag. There's my loot bag. I'm just going to leave it like as is. Come out, push play. There's my loot bag again, and there's my container. Drag it out. It will destroy the loot bag. come back in. And oh, it hasn't moved. I'm guessing it's going to have an error. We quit out. Nope. Okay, so the issue we've got there is that it's not destroying it when we want to destroy it. So let's go back to loot bag. I figured that it might happen. And it's because this event destroyed is happening here. So rather than doing that, we're going to do it on when we do this bit down here. Okay, so when we update it, remove from parent, destroy actor, we're just going to drag that in and put destroy actor at the end. Always put destroy actor at the end. That way you don't get any weird issues with the order of things. Okay, now let's try that out now. And okay, there's my loot bag. Drag out the items. Destroyed. Play. Damn it, it's still coming in. Oh, I know why. The reason why it's doing that is because the game mode. Game mode is doing this first. So it's doing actors removed first, removing them first, and then adding them in. And we'll do it. We'll ideally do it the other way around. So let's just fix that to be the other way around. So just drag all this. Keep track of what ones we're adding and what ones we're destroying there. And then we go through destroying them. Because beforehand we were adding it in, removing it from our array, and then adding back in. Therefore, it's always appearing. This way round, it should fix that. So let's go back. Yeah, there you go. It stopped appearing now. Let's do a fresh save file to see this working. We're going to Explorer, go to our root folder, delete our save game files, and then a fresh save. We've got a chest here with nothing in it. We've got our 3 apples. We pick these up. Okay, there's my 3 apples, and I drag and drop that out. Got my loot bag, and there we go. If I close it, reopen it, there's my loot bag again. And apple didn't save. Interesting. And then we go back into here. We've got our apples and stuff there. Okay, so we've still got this 1 apple that's still lingering about, and I've got a theory as to what the issue is. So if I go to the item parent here, so begin play, we're adding these actors to the array. That includes the 3 that are already there. They'll also add themselves as actors added list. They've also been added to the actors removed list. So basically, it's adding them back in and then removing them. And I think it's getting confused in that sort of hubbub of that. So rather than using begin play to do all this stuff on, instead we're going to do this only on when we spawn actor in through our inventory component. Sorry. So if I go to my inventory system, and when I do remove from inventory, not server drop, sorry, server drop item we want. That's it. Wherever you do the spawning of the actor, this spawn here, we want to spawn in this. We want to add that to the data or the save data thing. So I'm going to go back to my test item and take basically all of this and cut that from there. And we don't need this bit now. Go back to my inventory system and add this to here. Okay, so the item class we're adding here is no longer this class. It's the class from this. So we drag out the item class over here and put that in there. And then put that in there. The actor transform is coming from this drop location being calculated. So I'm just going to make this transform. So I'll just drag that out, make transform. And I can just use that get drop location if I want, but I'll just use the same one we got here. In fact, actually, I'll tell you what we do. We can drag from this return value, get actor transform. There we go. A bit neater. And put that in there. So now it's only adding it to that array when we actually actively add it to the world. So it doesn't take into account ones that are already part of the world. So let's test that out. I need to clear my save data again. And then I'll go back to the root, save games, destroy these. Okay. Right, now pick up power 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And there they are in my inventory. 3 apples. Close. Play. Yay, they're gone. And we can now, as I say, save all this stuff too. And our object will save all its data. Perfect. So there you go. It's quite a bit of work to get going, but this will now work for every level that you have. Now, if you like this video and want to see more videos for our inventory system series or more features added to it, please let us know in the comments below what you'd like to see. Always interested to know what you guys want to know how to do, so please leave a comment below. Thank you to all patrons and YouTube members for the continued support in the channel. Make sure you subscribed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.